stations of the cross. There are a total of 8 stations in this drive-thru. In this file you will find an audio recording for the readings that correspond with each station. I ask if you choose to linger at a station to be sure to pause this so you do not hear the next station at the previous. Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be grieved and agitated. Then he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me." Going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want." Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "So, could you not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Section 2. Peter's denial. Now Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard. A servant girl came to him and said, "You also were with Jesus the Galilean." But he denied it before all of them, saying, "I do not know what you were talking about." When he went out to the porch, another servant girl saw him. She said to the bystanders, "This man was with Jesus of Nazareth." Again, Peter denied it with an oath, "I do not know this man." After a little while, the bystanders came up and said to Peter, "Certainly you also are one of them, and your accent betrays you." Then he began to curse and swore an oath, "I do not know the man." At that moment the cock crowed. And Peter remembered what Jesus had said, "Before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times." Peter went out and wept bitterly. Section 3. Pilate washes his hands. As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." And the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate again asked him, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Pilate asked them all, "Why? What evil has this man done?" But they all shouted once more, "Crucify him!" So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas instead of Jesus for them. And after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. 4. Jesus helped by Simon of Cyrene. And the soldiers led him into the courtyard of the palace, and they called together the whole cohort, and they clothed him in a purple cloak. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they placed it on his head. And they began saluting him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They struck his head with a reed and spat upon him, and knelt in homage to him. And after mocking him, they stripped him of the purple cloak and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. They compelled a passerby who was coming in from the country to carry his cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus. Then they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. They offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And there they crucified him, and divided his clothing among them, casting lots to decide what each should take. Station 5. Jesus promises kingdom to the bandit. 2 others also, who were criminals, led away to be put to death with him. When they came to the place that is called the Skull, they crucified Jesus there with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. One of the criminals who was hanged there kept deriding him, saying, "Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed have been condemned justly, for we are getting what we deserve for our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Chapter 6. The death of Jesus. It was now about noon. Darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. While the sun's light faded, the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last. Chapter 7. Jesus laid in the tomb. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Pilate ordered it to be given to him. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn in rock. He rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb and went away. Section 8. Of Burial. It was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was beginning. The women who had come with him from Galilee followed, and they saw the tomb, and how his body was laid. Then they returned, and prepared spices and ointments. On the Sabbath day, they rested according to the